It's 7 o'clock. I call the meeting of the Hamlin Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Please turn off all cell phones and pagers. The fire exits are located at either end of the building, and the AED machine is right across the hall from the door here. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Norm Boz,
Excused.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Here.
Ed Haight,
Here.
Carl Rock,
Here.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Do we have a motion for approval of the March 20th, 2023 minutes? Make a motion.
Second.
The motion's been made by Carl Rock, seconded by Ed Haight for approval of the March 20th, 2023 minutes. Please poll the vote.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Haight,
Aye.
Carl Rock,
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye.
Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Would the clerk please show the proof of publication for the public hearings? Okay, we have the continuation of Nathan and Amy Smith, 6984 Benedict Beach Road.
Evening.
Now, I believe we're doing the height and the impervious surface area. Um, Just give us a quick update and then continue the public hearing. You want to have a maximum height of 22 feet.
22 feet height, yep. Building most likely be 21 foot 6 inches.
Okay. So it gives you some,
Give them a little wiggle room,
right.
would be great.
And then, you and Cheryl must have calculated out the impervious surface. And so you need a 3% variance for that.
Yep, which should give me plenty of room.
Okay. Are there any questions from board members? Okay, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against these variances? If so, please state your name and address.
Other than that? Just that.
Just that one, for the 22-foot height and the 18% impervious surface. Okay, I closed the public hearing. We'll go over the 5 criteria. Will there be an undesirable change produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties by granting this variance? I'd say no, and based on everything else that are in the neighbors. Can the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some feasible method other than the area variance? Not right. Is the area, requested area variance substantial? In that location, I wouldn't say so. Will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district? On that lot, I wouldn't think so. Was the alleged difficulty self-created? And, this consideration is relevant, but not preclude in the granting of the area variance. I'd say it was self-created because he wants the building. True. Okay, have a motion formulated?
Make a motion for the application of Nathan and Amy Smith in 6984 Benedict Beach, seeking relief from town code. Maximum height is 15 feet, and they're looking for 22 feet. That's town code 521C 4B. And so they're looking for a 7-foot height variance. Also seeking relief from town code 520-21C5. For, the town code allows 15% impervious surface, and with the addition of this building, it will be 18%, so it needs a 3% variance. This is the minimum variance allowed. We've gone over the 5 criteria. There's no comments during the public hearing. It's a type 2 secret.
A motion's been made by Ed Haight, seconded by Jonathan Vogler for multiple variances for Nathan and Amy Smith, 6984 Benedict Beach Road. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Lot.
Aye.
Rodney Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Heath,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Aye.
The motion's carried. Just square away your building permits with Cheryl. And, I think too, there's a sunset on the motion, so
They have to start, just like you have hold within 6 months.
I'll have a whole 6 months.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I hope it's up and done. We're pretty much ready. If there's any legal record, 521C4B is still incorrect. I don't know what the legal document is. If you really care, it should be 520-21C4B.
did I say that?
It's in the note, in my agenda wrong still. It's just,
You said it right.
it's close,
Yeah.
but,
520-21C4B.
okay.
so,
Did we say 520-21C4B?
I
That's
think,
right.
I think I read the numbers right off of the thing, which technically,
I have it written on my
Yeah.
cheat sheet.
I don't know what trumps words or letters or wording, but.
Okay, thank you, and,
Thank you very much.
well, sorry for the extra time, Mike.
We're gonna miss you guys.
Don't worry, I'll be down to visit.
Yeah, I will be here soon with the permit.
Sounds
so-
good.
Pacelli. Would you tell us what you would like to do?
I am looking to get 6 chickens and quail.
Give us a little more background. You have, I guess, some permits and,
Yep, I have a DEC permit, Class A, or possibly that should be submitted with that allows me to have quail recreationally for personal use.
and now we were out there obviously Saturday, but you have plans for the litter from the birds?
Plan to compost that as it generates for use in my gardens.
Any other questions from the board?
I see your DEC permit is for a breeder. Are you going to have a business there or?
No,
Okay.
you need the Class A permit to do anything beyond personal use. And I just have the.
Oh, this one says Class B.
Yeah, so class B is for the first meeting, I mentioned.
Okay.
Class A is for, you know,
Right.
Any other questions from the board? I'll open public hearing. If you have any comments for or against, please state your name and address, please.
Name's Mark Crane. I live next door at 63 Hill Drive,
Which, we were there, so picture in our mind,
west.
west, okay. So the other side of the fence,
Yes.
okay.
We would just as soon not have any farm animals next door. It's less than an acre, 60 birds and animals next door that are farm animals.
Any other comments?
There's a number of restrictions that would never meet. Just too close. They're farm animals, and according to the zoning laws, they wouldn't be able to meet.
What is becoming quite prevalent here in town, and, I think, we have several more hearings that we're gonna schedule tonight, but, many people are asking to keep the chickens. It's, enough people have been doing it that we're possibly looking at changing the code or something, but, it's a trend that's been going on now for about 3 years, and it seems like every month we have several requests for it.
For chickens?
Yes, a little later here on the agenda, we got a request from Behringer Drive, a request from Lake Road up here. Last month, we had a couple of them, but it's become pretty common, and, what we've been doing is trying to really stress the importance of having a way of taking care of the litter, because that's the problem. We don't allow roosters because of the noise, and, we usually put, instead of the variance being permanent, we put a time limit, like 3 years or something on it, so they have to renew it. I don't know if that helps with any of your questions,
No.
but
No, not even close. There's a number of, according to your zoning laws, it's supposed to be 50 foot from this and 50 foot from that, and it's supposed to be like 200 foot from my house. It's not even close. Not even close. If you'd like, I can demonstrate.
No. we're familiar with the codes you're referring to.
It doesn't meet any of those.
It's, I think, a combination of the economy and many other things. What, obviously it has nothing to do with Hamlin, but, you can have chickens in the city of Rochester with no permits or anything.
And look what's happening in Rochester.
Is there a reason why you want 6 chickens?
that is, as I understand, the minimum for a farm.
Yeah, you can't buy less than 6 egg Americans from a lot because of the
I thought it
flock
was
animal.
3.
No,
Okay.
it's 6. They're a flock animal, so. Egg Americans doesn't allow it.
Minimum number on way up.
No minimum, but they take up just about the same space as the chickens. Actually, the pen for the quail would be smaller, they only require about 1 square foot per bird, and you can do a stacked box on top of that. Very small footprint.
Again, per your zoning laws, it won't work.
That's why we're called the zoning board of appeals. When something can't be done within the town code, an appeal is made to our board for a variance. Whether it's, you're gonna see some here later, whether it's a width or anything that can't be done within the code, the person can apply to our board for a variance.
If it's one code, I think I might be able to understand it. There's more. Out on Lake Road or something out on a farm, hey, I moved from out on Martin Road. My first house that I built out here was on Martin Road out in the sticks. I moved into town.
Go through that. And read is
The 50 quail is no whole large X. It's a large variance, very large variance. But let's take a look at the code book and see for the RM zoning district, what the setbacks are.
Well, the hearing is still open on the keeping of the chickens and quail. Are there any other comments for or against? Okay, I'll close the public hearing for Nathan Pacelli for the keeping of 6 chickens and 50 quail.
So I think we table this, I would move that we table this, continue on with the rest of our agenda and come back at the end and sort out what we're gonna need.
A motion's been made by Ed Haight, seconded by Carl Roth, to table this request
This, yeah,
until,
application. We get the numbers, figure out what codes and what numbers are gonna be.
would the clerk please poll vote?
Carl Roth, Rafi Ellsworth,
Aye,
Ed Hay, Jonathan Goldberg.
motion's carried. For the time being, everything's up in the air, and we're gonna find out what all other variances would be needed at the end of our meeting.
Okay.
Keeler Construction.
No.
Steve? Yeah. You're getting good at this.
Yeah. Let's hope it's not a common practice.
Okay, I guess we approved property at 1710. The property at 1712, we couldn't approve because it wasn't advertised.
Right.
Okay. How do we work this, the hearing?
Same as you would for any other, it's a brand new application. So,
Okay, I'll open the public hearing for Keeler Construction for property located at 1712 Moscow Road, seeking an area use variance to mine an additional, it isn't truly 10.32 acres, is it? Because the one already covered part of that? Or, okay, 10.32.
What we want, yeah. We're actually, well, then we want to permit it all because there's no permit.
Right. We approved 1710, I didn't.
Yeah,
But, for-
I don't know what the acreage is for that, I didn't dig that out.
okay.
we can't go back.
The public hearing is open. Is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against this request? And if so, please state your name and address. Okay, we, that's it for the comments last month for 1710. Okay, I'll, close the public hearing for Keeler Construction at 1712 Moscow Road.
I'd also like to put in the minutes that they are asking for a use variance. And very seldom are use variances granted. But because this has been used as a, what are we using it as?
Gravel pit.
Gravel
Gravel
pit
pit.
for 40, 50 years.
70.
70
80.
years. And it was thought that the use variance was granted years ago. That's why you're here today.
Yes. Which was supposed to have been cleared up by the previous owner, which wasn't.
We'll go through the 5 criteria. Whether an undesired change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of this variance. It's been a gravel pit, as we said, for close to 70 years. Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some feasible method other than an area variance. Not to mine gravel. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. It's part of it. It's considerably less than what's already. Have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. Basically, no, but there's been concern from a fruit farmer that we're putting a condition into the variance as we did with the other.
We're gonna work with them to keep the dust down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're gonna put in a berm, we talked, we're gonna put some trees in. We're still going to mine vertically, and at the end, when we do our restoration, obviously, we're gonna have the 1 on 1.5 required slope by DEC. The berm will disappear at that point. That's what the berm's for.
Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which shall be relevant to the decision but not preclude the granting of the variance. I guess wanting to use it for a gravel pit, yes, you created the variance. We'll go over the criteria for a use variance. We got 4 criteria here, which everyone doesn't have to demonstrate, but factor in. Cannot realize a reasonable return, without granting this variance. And, the alleged hardship is unique and does not apply to a substantial portion of the district or neighborhood. It's been a gravel pit for 70 years. It does not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. So it's an expansion of something that's been there. And says the alleged hardship has not been self-created. Yeah,
It's been a gravel pit for 70 years, I don't think you created that.
And I believe the tax rolls have it as mining.
Mhm.
It's been mining for probably decades. Is a designation of the property.
Okay, board, we need a motion exactly like 1710.
I'll make a motion for Keeler Construction of 1712 Maxwell Road. To mine, for mining operation on the site. Also modification approval to important process construction and demolition debris. This would only include crushing and screening of the existing equipment. The maximum depth of the pit shall be no more than 32 feet. Hours of operation to be Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, Saturday, 9 to noon, and Sundays, 10 to 2. There'll be berms to the north and the east, lined with trees to limit the dirt and dust to the crops. Also to use best practices to minimize damage to existing surrounding agricultural areas, and to work with the neighbors to the best of their what they can for the farming operations and residents. This is a type 2 seeker.
Second.
A motion's been made by Carl Roth, seconded by Ed Hay. Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye.
Okay, now we need a motion for the use variance.
Make a motion for the use variance for all the same. For Keeler Construction at 1712 Moscow Road, all the same stipulations as the area variance.
They gotta put in there that it's a pre-existing non-conforming thing, so that we're bringing it into compliance. It's a pre-existing non-conforming use, that we're bringing it into compliance. It's been a gravel pit for many years.
A motion's been made by Carl Roth, seconded by Ed Hay. For a
Excuse me,
use.
can I make one clarification? The previous one, last one was 1700, not 1710.
That's okay.
But just to clarify,
Okay, my mistake.
it's okay.
Would the clerk please poll vote?
Carl Roth.
Aye.
Rodney Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Motion's carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now on to the planning board. Cheryl, do you need anything from me for that, for next month?
I will check in the morning, not
Okay.
get back to you, Dave. I'll
Okay,
email you in the morning.
Great, thanks all, have a good evening. Thank you.
A coastal erosion hazard area permit for Kathleen Martin of 6968 Benedict Beach Road.
Hello. I work for Aces Energy. The Martins are our customers, hopefully. And we're just trying to install geothermal heating and cooling in their house, ground source heat pump. Sounds fancy, but we do it all the time. The issue here is the drill vertical wells to put pipes in the ground, the blue field. And, these folks live right on the lake, so according to CEHA, it's supposed to be 200 feet away. And these people have a fence in their yard, and there's also a septic system. And just the only place that you could get a drill rig in to put the wells would be about 180 feet away. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, it could be like 170. I mean, it's kind of hard to say until we really get there, but like roughly, I would say it's gonna be worst case 170 feet from the lake.
You know, we looked at this before, but what we're needing then is a
Where's the septic at?
So,
According to this, you're drilling like 5 wells. So
yeah,
they're gonna be,
and honestly, the drilling would easily happen in the front or the backyard. It's tying the pipes in into the house, like all of theirs, it's just, you know, the driveway's on one side, the other side's got, all their utilities, basically. And then that's where they said the sewer's coming in. So anyways, they also have a driveway, I guess you would call it, around the right side of their house that goes out back, so they have good access to get back there. And then at the end of this process, in case you guys aren't familiar with exactly what it looks like, everything gets returned to exactly how it was. The ground's not gonna look any different, you're not gonna see any wells above ground. These wells don't pull water out of the ground, they're just a hole to put pipes in, they get filled with grout, and then we bury everything. So, and it's all 5-6 feet deep. The wells are much deeper than that, but I mean, where we're doing the tie-in and tie into the house, so the grade is gonna all be exactly the same.
just in one of the responses in the paperwork was just questioning the fact that it couldn't be in the backyard. Versus, that's what I just had to ask that.
Yeah, I
had to
get
ask
it.
that question to
Yep.
make sure everything is.
Well, I'll say that, do I need one? Because DEC told me that the town of Hamlin has jurisdiction over their own CI. And that their regulations are just kind of like your guys' guidelines to use, so you guys gotta decide if I need a variance.
Meant we could just grant anything variance.
Right.
The letter
Yeah, that is SR. May 15th, after 7 PM. For property at 6968 Benedict Beach Road. For a 20-foot variance from the CHA coastal erosion hazard area.
Better go 30-foot variance.
30, okay, so a 30-foot variance. Just the coastal erosion hazard area says that the wells need to be 200 feet from the lake. The property, it looks like 180, potentially 170, so 30-foot variance from the code. From the CHA application.
That's one quick question. Is that, do you measure from the high water mark or what, like, you know where to measure from? Just want to make sure when we're doing it, I don't screw
if there's rocks on the property, like a rock revetment, we still consider it. It's not, the water can still run underneath there, so where the land starts
Okay.
would be the land, if the rocks are just to help save the land.
Is included in this motion that we've investigated the possibility of putting it in the backyard, but with existing utilities, the new sewer, grinder pump, et cetera, this is the location to put it,
That's the,
the best suited for this application.
Is that 170 of the
But
I mean, it's just, I don't know where to measure from.
is it possible? Cheryl will check it out so that we have
Give
a
the right amount of feet.
legal publication.
Okay. But we are gonna put it as far from the lake as physically possible.
A motion's been made by Ed Haight, seconded by Carol Roth, to schedule a public hearing for Kathleen Martin, 6968 Benedict Beach Road for a variance for geothermal heating. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carol Roth.
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Haight,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogel.
Motion carried. You'll need $75 into Cheryl before,
Before, like,
May 5th,
May 2nd.
May 2nd, for the publication of the public hearing.
Meeting is when?
May 15th.
Okay, we'll see you next month then.
Thank you.
And Cheryl will double check the measurements.
I'll email you too.
Okay,
Thank you.
Brianna Wright? You'd like to keep 4 goats on less than 5 acres?
Yes.
The reason I asked if you'd had any experience with it, my family had goats for a long time, and I know how rambunctious they can be.
Yeah, I think they're hilarious.
Other questions from the board?
So, for the code, just gonna have to ask for a couple other Can't have how far off is the building gonna be from your property line? You're gonna keep the goats in.
So we actually already have a shop that was once a horse barn, so we actually already have a place for them.
So you've already got it. And it's,
Yeah, that's been there
Yeah,
forever.
yeah,
but
I
the question
I
is,
used to know
is
the
it,
family.
Yeah.
is it within 100 feet of an adjoining residence? Is the question. Because if it is, you're gonna need a variance for that.
and it's right.
Ryan's house.
Okay.
Plus, is there a house over here
No,
too?
this is.
All farmland,
Just
okay.
have one neighbor.
And I think you're probably 50 feet off of the property line there, and you're going over there. You're gonna keep the manure in that in the barn then?
Yeah, I do plan to compost also in the garden.
It's, man,
How many acres do you
what was all, C, so it's C,
See,
2. 3, and I don't think this is the book's right. Oh, there are 2. So it's 1. B, 1B. That's a distance from lot line. That's 100, it has to be the building can't be within 50 feet of the lot line, or 100 feet of the adjoining residence.
You may or may not. Be
Mhm,
from here to here.
mhm.
And then it's
I'm sure she has a survey map that shows the distance.
House with shop.
No, between from the
The side setback,
Oh,
west side.
I'm sure she's got a survey. that shows.
If there's no survey in the packet, there's no survey.
She got a survey.
She does? Okay,
Yes, she does.
okay.
Are you gonna keep, is there a fence around there to keep them in, or are you keeping them in the building?
We actually put on the.
It's for, that's for both. That one is for both. It's the 50 feet from the lot line and 150 feet from the church.
Make a motion to
Just gotta
schedule,
make a motion
to schedule public hearings.
to Maureen tells me I need to add any more. She's
No, it doesn't.
checking out.
Yeah.
Make a motion, Wright for property at 911 Church Road, seeking relief from Town Code 520-41B 1A 2A3 to have 4 goats on less than 5 acres. And the code states that 5 acres is required. And Town Code 520-41C1B is a possibility. The distance from the building that the animals will be kept needs to be more than 50 feet from the lot line and more than 100 feet from adjoining structures, meaning the neighbor's property.
Is it or, is 50 feet from lot line or 150 from the
Or-
line?
It's
Both.
both, 50 feet from the lot line
Thank you.
and 100 feet from adjoining.
This one.
This one, so-
Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
No, because it starts up here, A, and then those are all A. And then this is over here, B. Yeah, it's B.
Yeah, it's ours.
520-41C1B.
Or just B. 521. 1B.
1B.
Mm-hmm.
520-41B. 1B. We'll get there. 520-41B. So the structure where the animals will be kept has to be at least 50 feet from the lot line and at least 100 feet from adjoining. 100. 150.
Mm-hmm.
May 15th.
May 15th after 7 PM. See the clerk and have the application in for $75.
That'll approve that.
Finish your motion.
Yeah, finish the motion and we'll give a second. Okay, a motion's been made by Ed Hay, seconded by Carl Rock, to schedule a public hearing for Brianna Wright, 911 Church Road, for needed variances to have 4 goats, on May 15th after 7 PM. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Ross,
Aye.
Rafi Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Hay, Jonathan Vogel.
Okay, now, the $75 publication fee has to be in the sheriff's office by May 2nd. And then, on the Saturday before the Monday, so that would be May 13th, sometime after 10:30, the board comes out and looks at the property. We won't vote on anything about viewing it.
Right.
So, when we show up there, we'll kind of walk back and, see what the whole layout looks like. Okay then, so we'll see you on Saturday the 13th.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this next name right. Leah Alonso. And you'd like to have some chickens?
I would like to get 6 chickens recreationally. I have a shed on my property so I moved in November and I have a shed on my property that I was going to just use as the chicken coop. I previously lived 6 years in South Carolina with about the same size lot in a community very similar, and I had 6 chickens there. I do not let them free range due to other animals around me, and anything else. I take care of them, I compost, I have my garden. I've taken care of chickens my entire life, and I fell in love with my house. But unfortunately, it does not have a humongous yard, so I am here hoping to get permission to have chickens. And I do have a picture of the survey for my house. I have no idea how to read it. I have no idea. I do not have a fence right now, but New York Fence Company is coming by tomorrow to start quote for me. I have asked all of my surrounding neighborhoods just personally if they mind. Nobody has said anything to opposing, and there are chickens 4 houses down from me. They do rear. So mine will just be in the shed, and then I will add a small fenced area that they can enter, and that's it. Other than them laying eggs.
This is the shed on the very, very back of the property.
Yes. Wow, I got onto it and had no idea.
This is keeping up animals and poultry. And there's domestic, then they do, have on here, poultry other than chicken and hens. So that would be, so and they have 25 juvenile poultry. And then they also have the
Is there anything I have to get before the public hearing?
We need to know the distance from your two neighbors' houses to the building. chicken would be, actually three, because
I was gonna say there's three.
the house directly behind you, the house on the other side. Any house that's within 150 feet of that building,
Okay.
you just have to know the distances.
Well,
Is that from my house to their property line?
Go from the chicken.
Oh, okay,
To the
sorry.
home.
To the corner of their house,
Or
or their house on the
Oh,
other
okay.
side.
So from,
I think you.
from here to there,
I'm questioning, how do I get that? Like, do I?
you have to talk to them and see if you can measure from their house to
Okay.
there.
schedule a public hearing for Leah Alonso, 34 Behringer Drive, for variances needed to keep chickens. Will the clerk please pull the vote?
Carl Ross.
Aye.
Rodney Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ken Tate.
Hi.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Now, have your $75 in the Cheryl floor, May 2nd, and again on sometime after 10:30 on Saturday, May 13th. We'll be out to look over the property.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Philip Thomas? Anyone representing Philip Thomas? Okay, we'll check back. John Baker?
Well, we're looking to just put up a small shed in the back lot in that property at Uncle Lake, Newport Drive. And, I just want to make one, I don't know if it's a correction either, now, it says the property where garage is existing, but it's actually it's on the opposite, different lot. It's got the right tax code down here for the vacant lot. It's not a vacant lot, but it's a shed.
It's one property, I think.
No,
No, it's two separate. tax
78,
codes.
76, we went over that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
78,
so
78, 78.
north of Antio Beach Road is one tax number, and then south of it, it's,
Correct.
and then south is where we want to put it.
There's nothing back there but trees.
That's the right side, and this is their vacant. land.
So that ultimately,
this is your property.
Yes.
This is your-
And that one.
So you want to put a shed on a property with no existing principal dwelling.
Right.
Right.
You want to put it over here.
Yeah, we're only looking at 10 by 16, it'll be 160 square feet, just to put a lawnmower, shovel, rake, stuff like that. Just get it out of the garage, so we can use the garage for the garage.
Just the shed. Already built, which you can go ahead.
I'm gonna go over the result, it'll be like a,
Yeah.
100 shed. Yeah, I can get a picture in there.
We gave her.
Yeah. It's gonna be one of those, yeah, it's a, I just took that's an already built shed, I just kind of scribbled that.
10 by 16.
Yeah.
So make a motion for John Baker at 7878 Newport Drive, seeking relief from Town Code 520-31A. We're gonna put a 10 by 16 shed on, so we're looking at seven, 876 to have a shed on a property with no principal dwelling.
Correct.
You're gonna be within, you don't need any setback variances, right? You're gonna kind of put it in the middle of that lot,
I was gonna take it, close as I can.
just check with Cheryl for side
Yeah.
setback. I mean, if we need a variance for side setback, I mean,
If the lot is less than 150 feet wide,
it's just 6.
It is, it's only 6.
yeah, so then it's 6 feet.
Which is like,
Yeah.
we'll be in front of 6
13.
feet.
Just wanted to make
We're
sure
looking
that
at 15 feet, right?
we had another variance. After 7 PM on May 15th.
A motion's been made by Ed Hay, seconded by Carl Rock, to schedule a public hearing for John Baker for shed on a lot with no existing building after 7 PM on May 15th. Would the clerk please pull the vote?
Harold Roth, Mark Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Hay,
Aye.
Jonathan Mover.
Have your $75 into Cheryl before May 2nd. And then could you either put stakes or spray paint or something so that when we come down on the Saturday, the
Okay, yeah.
13th, we can see where it's gonna be located?
Yeah, when you guys come down, it'll be on the pine trees right there. It'll be right in that area there, so I'll put some stakes there.
Okay. But yeah, so we'll be down sometime after 10:30. And as you can see, we gotta have a lot to look at, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a cottage.
Okay, then, we'll see you on the 13th, or at least your property.
Thank you.
Cheryl, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. for the-
Jackie Lingle? Would you tell us what you'd like to do?
Like to put a generator in for Jackie Lingle. She's up right on the lake, she's at 6378 Shore Acres Road.
She showed us there on the, I mean, we
Right.
we were
Kind of
there.
back by the porch, porch area. 5 foot.
Looked at it Saturday morning, so we know what you were asking for.
Just use the C
Just using the CI permit.
Okay, so that's all we need, CHOP permit, which we can grant. Okay. You got a clean one, so.
I'll make a motion for Jackie Lingo, 6378 Shore Acres Drive, for a CHOP permit, install a generator on the property.
Second.
A motion's been made by Carl Rock, seconded by Ed Hay, to grant a CHOP permit for Jackie Lingle, 6378 Shore Acre Drive, for the installation of a generator. With the clerk, please poll the vote.
Carol Rock.
Aye.
Rodney Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Now we'll see you May 1st for the planning board.
May first, wait, wait.
Yep, I'll let you know. I'll put everything up tomorrow for the conservation corridor development permit within 100 feet of the lake.
Okay,
Okay?
all righty, thank you.
Well,
Have a good night.
Okay, Richard Olson,
Yes,
you've been here before.
I have, and you were here too. I think I was at that end.
Yes.
I think I was at a different end at the time, yes. I'm Richard Olson, 78 Lake Road, East Fork. After the Christmas of this year, where we didn't have power for 50 hours, it was kind of, I had power, I had a little gas generator that I got sick of dealing with. My spousal supervisor has suggested that we get a generator. We've got a contract with Generac for 22 kilowatt. We started looking at where it can go. We got the 5-foot distances from the windows, 2 foot from the foundation. And the best place for it aesthetically is on the north side of the property, side setback, where it's 15 feet in the zone I'm in, waterfront, what do they call this thing? It's a long term. The residential commercial waterfront development district. It's 15-foot side setback requirement. I need a foot variance. Probably need 4 inches, but it's a foot. We're gonna ask for a foot.
We are asking for a foot.
Yeah, we're asking for a foot. Shaw was down the other day. We laid out a map they bring with them, shows where the thing goes, did all of our measurements, and that's probably the best place for it. I couldn't put it in the rear yard, meaning outside, but aesthetically, it's not gonna look really pretty. It's gonna be also susceptible to snow drifts. Where we go here, I've been there 35 years. I got a pretty good idea where the snow drifts. 40 years. I got a really good idea where the snow drifts. It wouldn't snow drift here. It would be a good spot for it. And hopefully it never will.
Any questions before scheduling the public hearing? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we schedule a public hearing for Richard Olson, 78 Lake Road, East Fork, seeking relief from Town Code 520-22C2A2, which takes the site setback in the RCW zoning district, shall be 15 feet. He is asking for a 1 foot site setback variance. Public hearing will be May 15th after 7 o'clock.
A motion's been made by Carl Roth, seconded by Jonathan Vogler, to schedule a public hearing for Richard Olson, 78 Lake Road, East Fork, for a variance needed to install a generator. Clerk, please poll the vote.
Carol Rock.
Aye.
Rodney Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Motion's carried. Have your $75 fee in by May 2nd, and on Saturday, sometime after 10:30, May 13th, we'll come down and look at,
I'm good.
maybe you can have it painted or,
Oh, I've got some spots already there.
Okay.
We'll make it work.
okay then.
All right, thank you.
Okay, discussion, anything from our legal department?
No. Do I go back to Mr. Chow?
Oh, good thing you remembered this, I'm sorry.
It's sitting there waiting.
Okay. You've been working on this one, Ed.
I guess we're gonna, we'll have to read.
You can entertain the application to have the chickens and the quail, but I think 50 quail is a very large ask to me, because even for 5 acres, they only allow 25 poultry other than chicken and hens. So 50 is large. But you can grant him that, but then he'd have to come back with the other variances for the setbacks.
And for the small number of poultry, instead of 5 acres, is it 1 acre?
Yes, for the chicken, it says for chicken and hens and chickens, they can have 10 chickens or hens allowed on 1 acre of land.
So the variance would be from 1 acre, not 5.
Right, but for the quail, it would be from 5,
Right.
absolutely. Because they don't allow, the code does not allow more, or anything for farm animals and other poultry have to be on 5 acres.
Okay, so I was thinking the chicken. Okay. So what do you want to look at? Combine that with the distance variances or? Right.
And again, if you can approve that tonight, but he can't get anything until he comes back next month to see if it's others.
Right.
I don't know what our.
Schedule the whole
I think our best bet
smash
would be to
together.
schedule for the complete thing, put everything down, get all the right numbers, and
Should we review those now?
she's already been reviewed.
Some of them.
What other ones are you?
It also says, you said you had the 50 foot?
50 foot from the lot line and 150 feet from the adjoining principal residence.
50 foot. What is it, the 52041, and like you said, you go on to page 2 and 3, I lose the B, C, and D. We're talking about it says, no building in which farm animals or poultry shall be kept within 50 feet, which we already talked about, or within minimum of 150 feet to adjoining residence. That's talking about the building, but if we talk about the next to a dwelling, 30 foot
Within
from,
150 feet of any adjoining residence.
yes.
No?
For 200.
200 foot for pigs. It would be a 50-foot variance from the back lot line. It will be far enough from the left and east and west lot lines by about 5 feet. But it will, you don't need a variance from adjoining structures, and it is 120 feet instead of 150.
150.
Yeah, the code requires 150.
Right. So assuming that it comes,
It says 120 feet from the adjoining residence.
so it's gotta be 30 foot from a lot line, right?
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
150 foot.
50 feet from the lot line.
50 foot?
50 foot from the lot line.
There we go.
It doesn't impede on his lot line. It's 56 feet from the lot line of the location.
Right.
And the 30 feet is for farm equipment.
So if we go from the front, the side to side, and the back lot line, if you go 30 foot, it's almost to the swale, you go 50 foot, it's almost to his house.
Right, so he would have to ask for a variance for that. And that's up to this board whether they want to grant it.
Okay, so that's 50 foot. Then it would have to be then from 120.
150
50
feet
feet
for the
from my
adjoining
house.
residence,
Yeah,
yes.
perfect.
And he said that it's 120.
It's not even close.
So
Right.
he would have
You
to
can
ask
measure
for,
it.
he would have to ask for a variance for that.
Well, but if he got the building, the variance for the building, then his distance to the house changes.
Right, so well, the building's not moving, is it?
That would be the corner closest to his residence, would be 120-ish feet from his home.
So the building's not moving. He's gonna put the building where he's gonna put the building, so we just need to know what the distances are. And that's what he would have to ask for a variance.
That's the building you're gonna use for the chicken?
The building that I would construct, check.
Is the building there now?
It is not.
Okay, and is it on the map? Do you have a?
It was drawn on the
Put it?
original application, it was drawn on there
Yeah,
as
that's what I
proposed
thought.
location.
Yeah, okay, so it's over here, yeah.
He showed us, when he showed it to us, it was in the middle.
Oh, then it was in the middle where I showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's between the shed and the
The
tree.
thing on there now is your shed.
Yep, that's changed because of some of the,
What's the dimensions on that? What does that say there? 8 by 12. Yeah. Does it look like 8 by 12 to you, the shed?
That's just drawn on there, that's not
Yeah.
on a, that's not
Right,
drawn to
That's not the
scale.
scale.
Well,
That's not to scale.
that's correct, it isn't, but it is supposed to be an 8 by 12. It's an 8 by 12 dwelling, right?
I don't know, he just says it's 8 by 12.
how much?
The existing,
The shed.
That was an old property map.
Yeah, but
the
there's a
existing
shed
shed.
drawn on there that says 8 by 12 on it?
That's the existing shed.
Yeah.
I have reconstructed that, got all the proper variances and it is within code.
Okay.
Or proper permits, excuse me, I didn't need any variances.
You did? To me, that says that it's 8 by 12.
we just, and we're not here to deal with that shed.
Okay, no,
That came from my original home plans from 1993 that I have,
Okay.
so.
That's not 8 by 12.
He said he
He said
reconstructed
he's
it with
changed that,
permits.
and when he's got proper permits for the work that he's done.
So where do we go? You would have to redo the variances for the distances?
Yeah, we're putting everything into a public hearing next month.
Okay.
The variances for the distances and the variance for the,
It would be the distance, and it would also be for the poultry, or the quail.
Which are considered game birds by New York State, and they're often kept as pets indoors.
I know, but it says 25 poultry other than chicken and hen. So that's what the code says. Even if they're domestic, well, that's.
Happy to change that down to 20, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's up to, if they take up less space than the chickens do, more quieter, and
I have no idea.
not.
No, I don't have no idea.
I have been raising birds my entire life.
Well, that's yours.
okay,
Where are we going?
we're
So going back to,
rescheduling the public hearing for May 15th.
motion. Can we schedule a public hearing for Nathan Michele at 61 Hillcrest Drive? And seeking relief from Town Code 520-41B1A1, get chickens on less than 1 acre of land. It'll be 6 chickens. That's the code, that's the code there.
So it's 5, 20, 41,
41,
B,
B,
1, oh no, B, yeah, B1,
yep,
A,
A,
hang on. 2,
2,
A,
A,
Ivy.
I, B.
Mhm. And the other one is
The distance one is 5,
41,
41 dash,
B,
B,
wait. B, B1, B,
B,
1.
Okay, and this is the distance.
Mhm.
This is for the. And 25, okay? So, my motion is for Kate to get 61 Hillcrest. 52041B, 1A1 for chickens on less than 1 acre of land. He's asking for 6 chickens. It'll be a variance from town code 52041B, 1A, 2A, IV for quail, which is, requirement is 5 acres of land. He's will get 25 quail on less than 5 acres. And 520-41B1B for the building that the poultry are in has to be 50 feet from the lot line. And he's gonna request a variance from that distance to find out for sure what the lot line is. And 150 feet from neighboring dwellings, we'll need to get that number and subtract it from 150 to see how much of a variance.
Okay, I will say one thing, I will have to recuse myself from this application, and I will have someone else motion, okay?
And that will be at Monday 15th after 7 p.m.
Motion's been made by Ed Hay, seconded by Carl Rock, to schedule a public hearing for Nathan Pacelli, 61 Hillcrest Drive, for multiple variances for keeping of 6 chickens and 25 quail. Would the clerk please poll vote?
Carl Rock.
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Hay,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogel.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Now, you already had your fee in, so. Okay, now,
Are we doing a continuation?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because you
We
tabled
tabled the
it,
discussion.
you tabled it, yeah.
So we-
So you're just gonna make a motion to continue it on next month.
I'd make a motion that we continue a public hearing for Nathan Pacelli at 61 Hillcrest until May 15th after 7 p.m.
motion's been made by Ed Hay, seconded by Jonathan Vogler, to continue the public hearing for Nathan Pacelli on May 15th, sometime after 7 p.m. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Rock.
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Hay,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogel.
Okay, now, let's see if there's anything from our legal department.
Oh, Thomas,
No, I don't see him here.
If he's not here, there's nothing we can do for a public hearing.
He was, yeah, so he just had a,
he was scheduled for a public hearing?
No, he wanted to schedule it.
Oh, I got it, yeah.
So he comes back in for.
Yeah, there's nobody here to ask for it.
Right, there's no present.
So,
So,
yeah,
I don't know.
He didn't ask you to ask for it, right?
No, he didn't. I heard from him since it came in. But we did it.
Gosh. Okay, anything from the legal department?
No.
Anything from the building department?
We're very busy.
Well, we can tell that by our agenda.
We're very busy in, everybody's, building barns, sheds, fences, and new houses. We're doing quite well. And
What is it, a combination of the weather and kind of COVID, or?
I think everybody's just so excited to see the sun. You know, last week was,
Anything from town board?
We did pass a resolution to, regulate the size of storage tanks that you can have above ground or buried. Anything 499 gallons or larger needs to be permitted.
Which size are larger?
499,
Okay.
anything 500. We're gonna be getting a new sign out front. I don't know if you noticed, the old one's gone. Does anyone know? Okay.
I watched it, it was exploding.
It might have been pointed out to me. I did notice.
I wonder who pointed it out to you.
So we're getting, one of those electronic signs that you can, manipulate the messages from inside, a little easier than going outside and putting the letters up there. What else? We're planning a, farm fest for this fall, for the summer in August. The farmland protection plan, I think, is kind of at like a little bit of a stall, waiting on some state funds to come through. I think there's a zoning workshop, I want to say this week, this is the third week. Yes, okay. You all are welcome to attend the zoning workshop. That's about it. That's all I have.
We're gonna work on making the building, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything from anyone else?
Barring no further business, the movie adjourned.
Aye. Thank the Lord.
Thanks, everybody.
I have a question on that. What variance does that guy from ACES for the geothermal? What does he need? I didn't understand.
It's a CHA, and it says 200 feet, and it's not 200 feet.
The CHA says at least the wells need to be 200 feet from the.
I don't think it's a variance, but I think that the public hearing needs to be had because the CHA says 200 feet. So people should be able to come in and express if they want to express for or against. The CHA says 200 feet.
So the CHA says anything constructed within 200 feet needs a CHA permit, right? Isn't that what it's saying?
So it has to be back